Hello everyone, Flat Daddy here. I'm going to present some research for you guys today. So first what I want to do is just let you watch this little clip for you guys to review first, and then I'll go into what I want to show you here. But let's watch this video.
Whenever a light shines through a dense medium, it will appear larger to the observer due to the increased glare. This effect is further intensified when the air through which the light is shining is dense with moisture. Since the densest air is right above the Earth's surface, it goes to say that as the sun moves away from the observer, its rays would have to pass through more dense air than it would when it is directly overhead. Therefore, at sunrise and sunset, the light appears dilated with its color modified. While the laws of perspective also cause the sun and moon to appear smaller as they move away from the observer, the final result between these two opposing effects is what we see, and from many dry, high-altitude locations, it is possible to see the sun and moon appear to vanish into a point before disappearing beyond the horizon. Further evidence demonstrating that the sun is a localized spotlight moving overhead rather than the Earth orbiting around it at 93 million miles are what appeared to be focused hotspots seen directly on clouds below the sun as viewed from airplanes. This is further exemplified by sighting in the tropics of the large sun phenomenon. So investigate the subject for yourself and ask questions.
Okay, so he made some valid points about the density and stuff like that, and when I was watching that, it made me start thinking. And then last night when I was outside walking, I was looking at the moon, and it was one, I was getting this moon illusion, as what I'll show you here, of it looking larger at the horizon. Now, there's been a lot of talk about with the sun not shrinking in size when it's going to the horizon, yet we see footage otherwise from some people posting that it does shrink towards the horizon. So this seems to be a little bit of a debate, but what I'm thinking, and I want everybody to get involved with the research. That's why I'm going to present this research as a jumping or starting point for this. So what I propose is that it just depends on this illusion that happens, and it's not all the time. Like he explained in the video, when you're in a drier area, you're going to see it's not going to have this illusion. So, and what I'm going to show you here too is that this moon illusion, as they talk about, is not just restricted towards the moon. But I'm just going to go briefly over these articles that I pulled up. I'm going to leave all these links down in the more section of this video for you guys to review. This way I won't bore you with just me rereading all this stuff to you. But so the wiki, moon illusion. So the moon illusion is an optical illusion which causes the moon to appear larger near the horizon than it does higher up in the sky. It has been known since ancient times and recorded by various cultures. The explanation of this illusion is still debated. So this is still to this day an open theory, right? So, but I just want to read that top line. Within this article, actually, I found a good link to this paper that was done by this PhD professor, but I'll go into that right after this first line. He wrote here, the moon seen close to the horizon appears to be quite a bit larger than when viewed at its zenith. The same fact can be observed when viewing the sun or the constellation of the stars. This odd phenomenon is called the moon illusion. So the moon illusion is going to cover all three aspects, right? And has been studied for centuries. Again, we're looking at this is not new information, and it's been looked at for a long time. So the gentleman who wrote this paper is this one here, this Bart, and I don't think I'll pronounce his last name properly, so I'll refrain from that. But he's an assistant professor. He works over at the School of Medicine and the University of Louisville. Looking at what he's working at now, I found quite interesting. I just wanted to bring a little side note. We could follow this investigation. Maybe I might come up with a video over some more research into this, but every time we research, it seems like there's 10 different paths right away that we can follow. So, but this particular research over this illusion that we're seeing at the horizon. So, but anyway, we have him stating right here, our research concentrates on the synaptic and circuit mechanisms for parallel processing in the mouse visual system. Well, mouse, of course, it's always using lab rats or mice or whatever for their testing, but the fact then lower down in here, as you read, you're going to start to see here how they're basically, I've done a lot of programming in the past, and I'm starting to recognize how he's making a similarity to start figuring out how to get a binary system working between electronics and biology. It's kind of interesting. I was reading through this, but it leads to that transhuman agenda these guys are trying to run. Something to look into if when you're looking down this path, check into the guys that actually come up with the information, because there's always some information that is quite interesting and connections that can be followed. But we'll leave that for another day. I also checked out NASA too. It's kind of interesting what they say. Sometimes you can't believe believe your eyes. This week is one of those times, and they're talking about this moon, this full moon that's super large, 18 years, or comes every 18 years or something. But just an interesting article. I don't really get into the NASA stuff too much because they're the worst at giving actual facts, right? I just use them as a reference, because sometimes there's a little bit of truth in there so they can maintain the lie. And here we go. This is something else you'll find in there. The moon illusion, the unsolved mystery, but it's interesting down here. It's not a small effect. The sun displays the same illusion, but viewing the sun directly with the eye is hazardous without proper precautions, of course. So let's leave that out of this discussion. That's pretty much why they probably never included this to begin with. That's kind of why I'm bringing this up. The same illusion is observed with any extended object in the sky, such as a constellation. So they probably don't dwell on that much, because they want to figure out the moon first and then probably apply it to the other two. But that's something else. It's a good read. And then there's an opposing viewpoint here too that they have a link to in that wiki article that worth looking at too. It's always good to see all sides of the coin, right? So this one's nearly all people will agree that the picture at the right represents approximately how the horizon moon size looks when captured, with how it looks later with the moon higher up in the sky. And that does excuse me, that does look about what it looked like last night for me, except for it was about a 3/4 moon. So another good read there. He goes into quite a bit of detail. I'll spare you guys all these extra papers that you can read yourself, but definitely take a look at this. And then I did a little tiny picture here just to show you, kind of like this here, but just a little bit better. And you can take a look at that. that's everything for today. Like I said, please look into it. I believe that there is some explanations here that apply to why we see the sun do what it does, and why we're seeing different information come in from it being shrinking to a small p to keeping its size over the horizon. All of it is, I think, explainable when we just do the research. So here's a jumping board for us all. Let's delve into a little bit deeper. I think we can really answer some good hard questions this way. If not, or if I find anything new, I'll definitely make another video and put it forth to you guys to review. But anyway, you guys have a good day. Bye.